Today we're going to talk about how to perfect the deadlift so that you can safely build muscle and raw strength. What's up guys, Ryan here, treadawaytraining.com, where we help busy professionals get more results in less time through online training. I'm going to break this video up into 3 sections. 1, muscles targeted. 2, setup and form. 3, common mistakes and how to fix them. Real quick before we start, I want to make a deal with you. I'm 1 subscriber away from hitting the 100 subscriber mark. If you like this video and you haven't subscribed already, you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you don't like the video, then you smash that dislike button and then you can head out and then that'll be that. Sound good? All right, let's go. First, let's talk about biomechanics and muscles targeted. Spinal erectors extend the spine by pulling your upper body back. The glutes and hamstrings extend the hips by driving them forward. The quads are also activated to a lesser degree, and they extend the knee by pulling the upper leg forward. The lats and traps stabilize the upper body and prevent the back from rounding throughout the lift. Before talking about setup, I recommend you use a 10mm belt to help stabilize your core and either tall socks or tights to prevent the bar from scraping your shins, but these aren't requirements. You'll want to perform the deadlift barefoot or in deadlift slippers to allow greater force transfer into the ground. When approaching the bar, you will stop when the bar is directly over your midfoot. When I say midfoot, I mean halfway between the back of your heel and the tips of your toes, not halfway between your shin and the tips of your toes. Your stance should be slightly narrower than shoulder width. The reason for this is because when you bend down and grab the bar, your arms should be completely vertical. We want our arms to be directly in line with the force of gravity. If you have a wider stance, you'll have to widen your grip to keep your legs inside your arms. Now it's time to grab onto the bar. There are 3 grip options: double overhand, alternate, otherwise known as mixed grip, and hook grip. Each grip has its strengths and weaknesses. Double overhand is probably the safest, and as someone who's had recurring back issues that have taken me 3 years to recover from, it's the grip I personally use. However, keep in mind that at some point, your grip will be the limiting factor when using double overhand. You can use chalk to aid your grip, but you'll eventually have to use straps to continue progressing in the amount of weight you can lift. When warming up, go as heavy as you can before using straps so that your overall grip strength doesn't suffer. Alternate grip is probably the most common grip and is also probably the strongest grip. The one thing to keep in mind here is you'll need to periodically switch which way you're alternating to avoid muscle imbalances. Last is the hook grip. This grip involves wrapping your thumb under and grabbing it, essentially using it as a lifting strap. It has the advantage of being double overhanded, but from my experience, it's quite painful, and personally, I'm not a fan of this grip. From here, pull your chest under to achieve a neutral spinal position and engage your lats by closing your arms tight against your sides. I always tell my clients to protect your armpits. I like to do this between every rep and even over exaggerate it a bit to ensure I never forget this crucial step. Once you're in position, your shoulder blades should be directly above the bar. Now you're almost ready to lift the weight. The last step is to pull the slack out of the bar. Once you hear the bar click against the weights, you're ready to pull the weight off the floor. As a quick side note, if you're pulling your chest under forcefully, you will have already pulled the slack out of the bar. As you pull the weight up, keep your chest high and be sure to maintain your back position. Some will say to look straight forward when deadlifting, but in order to keep a neutral spine, you'll need to pick a spot on the floor to look at that's about 5 to 10 feet in front of you. The bar should travel upward in a straight line, keeping in contact with your legs throughout the entire movement. Lock your glutes out at the top and stand with your chest high. There's no need to overextend at the top, and be sure not to shrug or roll your shoulders at the top either. Unlock your hips and let them drive back while allowing gravity to pull the bar down. You should resist only enough to allow the bar to fall in a controlled straight path. The eccentric or downward portion of the rep should take half of a second to a second. Now let's talk about a few of the mistakes that I commonly see that you'll want to avoid. The most common mistake is excessive back rounding. Some rounding is inevitable at heavier loads. However, if the rounding is excessive, you greatly increase your risk of injury. There are a few possible causes for this. Your spinal erectors could be too weak. You can fix this by doing Romanian deadlifts. Since you never touch the ground throughout that movement, your erectors are under load for greater periods of time. Because of this, you can build up your back strength for the lighter loads. It could also be that your glutes are too weak. Because your glutes can't meet the torque requirement to lift the weight, your back rounds in order to pull the bar closer to your body, reducing the torque required to complete the lift. You can fix this by performing exercises that directly target hip extension, such as the cable pull-through. It could also be that you're simply trying to lift too much weight too soon, and you just need to lower the weight that's on the bar. The next error I commonly see is starting with the bar separated from the legs. When initiating a deadlift with the bar separated from your legs, the bar has to be lifted in and up rather than up in a straight line. Not only does this reduce strength output, but it also greatly increases torque on the low back, increasing injury risk. Remember, when setting up for the lift, start with the bar over midfoot and your shins in contact with the bar. Next is sitting too far back as if preparing to squat the weight. When you start with your hips too low, your first motion will be forward, not up, which will carry the bar forward, creating separation from your legs. Only sit back as far as is necessary for the bar to be directly below your shoulder blades. The last and possibly most dangerous mistake is not pulling the slack out of the bar and jerking the weight off the floor, which creates a sudden jolt of force on the lumbar spine. The good news here is following the steps I've already outlined for setting up the deadlift eliminates the possibility of doing this. And there you have it, all the steps you need to perfect the deadlift and start building muscle and strength. Now remember our deal. If you liked the video, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you didn't like the video, then go ahead and make sure to hit that dislike button, and maybe you'll like next week's video better. If you like the shirts that I wore in this video, you can get them down at the first link in the description, but make sure to act fast because these are only on sale until tomorrow at midnight. This is a limited edition design, and this is gonna be your only chance to get it. If you want more content just like this, check out the Treadaway Training blogcast. We're there every Sunday at 3 p.m. That is treadawaytraining.com/blog. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you tomorrow.